So what are we doing here? What do you actually believe in? Do you actually care about kids? Do you actually care about why people are shooting one another? Or does it just not impact you? Yet.
Folks, we're back. Welcome back. This is the Foolish Optimist Podcast. This is our first week of episodes in the new year in 2026. So I'm grateful that you're here. As you know, we're on the hunt for the next generation of leaders in the United States. And if you can, wherever you're following the podcast or wherever you're listening, can you please follow it and maybe rate, review it, do all the good stuff. I'm really excited about our guest today. She is our youngest guest and continuing the tradition of our Gen Z candidate this week. Leila Staton is running for Iowa House District 54. She is a 22-year-old progressive Democrat, women's health and child sexual assault advocate, and she's running for the Iowa State House to help her community. You can find her on Facebook at Leila for Iowa, and then on Instagram and TikTok, Leila for Iowa, one word. Leila, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy. You are our youngest Foolish Optimist candidate, but as mentioned, this episode is going to come out with a bunch of other Gen Z candidates as well who are like right around your age. So let's start the way we always start. Why are you running in 2026? Why are you running this year?
I'm running because I'm really angry, and it's the first year that I can run. No one has run in this race to oppose the Republican incumbent, so it's a great first time.
Why not? I was looking at that. I was like, nobody's run against it literally in years.
Yeah, so we redistricted in 2022, and that's when Democrats kind of stopped running. The last time a Democrat ran, like, in the area was 2020. With the year of COVID, I think that candidate did mailers, and that was it, and then never ran again. So...
Cool. Like, barely tried.
Yeah. It leaves a lot of opportunity for me, or a lot of, like, things to build off of. It's a little overwhelming, but I'm glad that with the broken political system, I don't have to navigate it a ton, specifically, like, locally.
Right.
Good. It kind of works in my favor. And that we can just rebuild and do something differently. Like, I want this campaign to leave something behind. I want it to say something whether I win or not. And that's that everybody has a voice in politics, and that young people have to have a voice in politics. It's our future more than it is our legislators. We live the legislation through. They don't. It's morbid, but they will die before they have to fully live through the backlash of all of the bad policy.
Yeah.
Why don't we make the policy decisions?
It's a little disheartening. I started to re-enter into politics after I saw Dianne Feinstein laughing at middle schoolers who were protesting climate change. And I was like, oh, you're a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Like, you won't be here for that. And she did. She died less than a year later. But I was like, why would you laugh at people trying to make a difference who will live for all of this shit? I got really angry. But I love it. I think it's really great. And I think it's really important to be running people in every single race that we can. And like you said, there's like an inspiration aspect to it. You're so young and you're just doing it anyways.
Yeah. I think it's important too. I believe in our democracy, and I think it can be really good. It could be really good.
Yeah.
It's just not right now. And we're the ones to change that. It's not like the people who are on the brink of expiring.
You're like retiring from life, you know?
Retiring from life are not going to be the ones, because they don't have the energy to care about it. This is just like another day for them. Meanwhile, like, our lives are like, hey, you can't afford a house to live in. You can't live off your wage, even though you have a college degree.
It's not even that they're like tired. They just don't even know what's going on. A lot of them have been in office since before I was born. And so, like, you have no fucking idea what we're dealing with. Right, nor do you even want to learn. You don't want to try to learn.
Grassley. Yes. Chuck Grassley, he's so old. He took office before my grandma was born. It is time.
Jesus Christ.
And not elect these people.
And he's, what is he, like third in charge right now? Or fourth? Because it's
Yeah.
president, vice president, speaker, Senate.
Yeah.
A dinosaur. Yeah. And also not a great person. Chuck Grassley is not. Like, if there were to be someone in office for that long, he's just not a good fit for that. If you care about politics enough to listen to this podcast, you've probably felt the frustration of trying to navigate government. Who's your city council member? State, what district are you even in? It shouldn't be this hard. Luckily for us, there's Civic Politics, a free app that brings all your elected officials together in one place from City Hall to Congress. No more hunting across dozens of outdated government websites. Just download Civic Politics on the App Store or Google Play Store and finally have your representatives in the palm of your hand. Follow @civic.app on TikTok or civic.politics on Instagram to be the first to know about the latest features. So, one of your focuses is for women's health and for child safety. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I'll start with women's health. Iowa is last behind Puerto Rico in OBGYN care. The least per capita in the nation. And I did a bunch of research and I talked to a bunch of doctors, and the reason is the reason we don't have OBGYNs is because of the abortion ban at 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It pushed OBGYNs to practice in Minnesota.
Any other state they can get a job
Any
in.
other state.
Yeah.
And with that, I think kind of just our entire environment. We have a terrible economy. Those factors also play into it. Because why would you practice medicine in a state where you don't like living to begin with? Because the economy is so bad. Our water quality is terrible. So many other things that are just going wrong. And then you're not allowed to do half of your job. You're gonna move.
You have to. Literally, I don't think we understand the amount of stress we're putting doctors under, these people who have chosen to get into a business of saving people's lives. And then they have to wait for an attorney to tell them if they can save their lives. Right? Yeah. I don't think people understand that. And people are just going to start leaving the profession as well.
Yeah. And people are consistently arguing whether they're criminals or not for doing their job.
They took a Hippocratic oath. They are doing the best they can. That's the answer, is that people want them to not do their jobs and to value the life of a baby over a full-grown human adult.
100%. And I think a way that we can bring OBGYNs back into practicing Iowa is focusing on all of the other issues that impact everyone. The economy is terrible. Our budget was done so poorly last year that they are dipping into the rainy day fund to prop up the budget. That's really bad, considering the economy sucks. It's not like we're going to bulk up this rainy day fund to continue.
Right.
It'll run out within 4 years, and no one is talking about it. That is bad. And
horrible.
Yes, it's really bad. And we rely on blue states to fund so many of our things.
Yeah.
That does not help this issue. What? So I think, for one, student loan forgiveness for doctors who practice in Iowa, because we are a healthcare desert overall.
Right.
Starting with OBGYNs, no matter where they practiced, I think if you're practicing in Iowa, Iowa should reward you for practicing in Iowa.
Yeah. It's called aligning incentives. We do it with a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, and we've done it before.
Yeah.
I don't see why it's such a stigmatized kind of plan now, but I think it's one of the only things that would work. Also, it's the most efficient.
Right, for sure. Because everyone's, fuck yeah, dude. I just spent 12 years or 15 years in school. It's time.
Yeah, and I don't want to pay $100,000 right now.
Right.
Or $400,000 or whatever.
Whatever it is, yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest kind of components to solving the issue is, obviously, repealing the 6-week abortion ban.
Yeah.
No one wants to practice OBGYN care in a state where you can't practice it. Specifically, it's just such a risky profession. And then it's too many. It's too much. It's too much for them. So repealing that 6-week abortion ban. And I think that is kind of how we solve the OBGYN issue, at least the first couple of steps, and see where that goes.
Right.
Whether it pays off or not. If it doesn't, we'll work on something else. But I have a feeling that will work. And I've also talked to a few doctors to see what they would think. Would you move to a state if they were going to help you pay your
Right.
student? Yes, I would.
Of course. I mean, truly, that's like really that would be one of the most enticing aspects about it. And then God knows what would happen. You might have one of the best healthcare systems in the country after 10 or 20 years of that because the best doctors are there.
And we used to have a really good healthcare system in the state. Well,
Yeah.
for what the time was, it was really good. And then our governor came in and just threw all things under the bus. So that's one of my top priorities, is making sure that women can go to the doctor that they need to. You shouldn't be driving 4 hours or even having to go out of state. I know a lot of people go out of state for OBGYN care. That's also money that's being spent outside of our state, and we need that money to continue to circulate.
Right.
So that would help in a lot of different aspects. When it comes to protecting kids, however, it's much different. It goes along with public schools, with school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
I am 22. I grew up doing school shooter drills. And my first week on campus, there was an active shooter my first semester in college. Like, it is a real problem, and it has been left behind by literally any adult in the room. Why? Because you want a check from the NRA? No, get it out of here. So I don't accept any corporate or greedy money, but I definitely don't take money from the NRA. I think as soon as you take a check from them, you have to, how do you look at kids and it doesn't compute in my mind. How can
I don't understand it. And I think the way you phrased it was really great. Like, it's been forgotten by every adult in the room. And I don't have my own children, but I'm somehow the person screaming the most about guns, and people last series of videos on guns I did, I was getting death threats. And I was like, if you love your gun so much and you want to kill me because I said, hey, what I said specifically was Charlie Kirk would still be alive if this young man didn't have access to a gun. He could not have thrown something that far and killed him. It just wouldn't have happened. But like, the children are paying for adults' mistakes, and I don't know how people sleep at night. Like, I really don't. So I'm grateful you're not taking any money, because they will come knocking.
Oh, yeah. I think what you said it perfectly, is that like kids pay for the adult mistakes. And I think a lot of the burden of just adult decisions fall on kids directly. Like
all the time.
We have a private school voucher program.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a private school that students graduate from in this district. So they're taking money that does not benefit students here.
Yeah.
And people seem like, in the beginning when I launched campaign back in May, a lot of people didn't understand the gravity of that. Is that we are quite literally underselling kids' education. Like, they don't have the ability to learn as well as even people in other districts.
Yeah.
They have less options because it's so rural. We only have public schools. There's one private school. It's a K-8. No one graduates from that. So what are we doing here? Why does this exist? It's just so silly to me. And I understand that we can't just repeal that program. Like, what's done is done.
Right.
It's costing millions of dollars. I think there is a way over time that we can divert it elsewhere and make it work.
Yeah.
Make it work for all students. It is not by raising the amount per student for these private schools. It's just so insane to me. But I don't like that program. So I am willing to dive in, sink my teeth in, and figure out how to make it work for kids. It's just so insane that it exists.
And it exists everywhere, by the way, right? School voucher programs exist everywhere. And we used to have this like different vibe of a school choice program. Not even like for my generation particularly. There was a time where you could like apply to get into a different public school. And like that public school might have a very big focus on science or what have you. But by the time I went to school, you just went to the school you were districted for. And we also had big busing programs, but vouchers, they disgust me. The crazy thing is if we actually just fixed our public education system and made it the best in the world, everything would be fixed. The private schools would shut down, actually, because all the school teachers would go to the public schools.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes along into it is like teachers in our state can't unionize. Why? They should be able to unionize. Come on, guys.
Is it a right to work state?
Yeah.
Yeah. My school was like that too. They tried to make our teachers go in to look for a bomb when we had a bomb threat. They said they would get fired if they didn't.
Because they're qualified for that.
Literally.
Honestly, yeah. I think it's just so silly. Because, for one, you're putting the responsibility on people who don't get paid enough to do that, aren't trained to do that. And then you're also selling out those kids' safety by having their teacher go in to look.
Well, and it's the same as them trying to defend against a gunman.
Exactly. It's the same exact logic. And I think there's this consistent argument where people are like, should teachers be armed? What?
The best argument I heard that for that was literally like, yeah, we should give our teachers guns. They can sell them and buy school supplies for their classroom.
Right? No, they should not be armed. What are we talking about here? Like, how long has it been since you've been in school? Like, kids get rowdy, teachers get really angry. A weapon in any
it's never good. Yeah.
No, never a good instance. What are we doing here? It's just so gross. That's all I can.
And also, like, these teachers, a lot of the teachers working are not emotionally regulated enough. And I know this because I was the kid that was like poking them until they exploded because I had severe ADHD and nobody knew what to do with me. And I already knew all the answers. And literally, so I would just fuck with the teachers until they imploded. But if my teacher had had a gun, she might have hit me with it. She probably wouldn't have shot me, but she would have hit me with it for sure.
Right. And I think like it's not on teachers.
It's not.
Like that, it's just such unnecessary responsibility that's put onto them because one, they're not trained to do that. I don't know, these little conferences that teachers are going with like a police officer, that's not enough training for them.
No.
Like emergency responder here. That's not enough training. It's just so silly. And it's such a waste of resources when the resources could be diverted elsewhere that would actually help.
Yeah. I mean, there's of course, then you have to have the argument about, I don't know what Iowa's gun laws are like, if I'm being totally honest. I haven't nailed down all the gun laws in every state, but having a conversation around and getting guns out of people's hands who shouldn't have guns.
Difficult.
It's insane. Why is it such a hard thing to talk about? Why is everyone so triggered by that?
Right. It's like a step away from Texas. We're not a stand your ground state, but 18-year-olds can carry.
18-year-olds?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm like of the ilk. I'm like 18-year-olds should be able to drink and they shouldn't be able to carry a gun. Maybe 21 for a gun. Maybe 18 for alcohol, 21 for a gun.
Yeah, I think it's silly. And a lot of the reasoning by passing that was like 18-year-olds often like they live on their own. They should be able to
protect themselves.
18-year-olds are also still seniors in high school.
Right. It's a very transitive time for 18. Like,
right. And it's just so. It's such a nuanced issue, too, because I understand that aspect of it where it's okay, a 25-year-old can do it, but an 18-year-old can't. And they're both neighbors. Like they live the same lives. But.
You're still in. I was about to say, you're still in that like in between age between 18 and 25. And when I was your age, I really like thought that my life and my brain would not be that much different when I hit 25. And it actually wasn't. For me, it was like 26, 27. And then one day I was just like, is this what adults live. Like, I was like, is this how I didn't, what? Like, yeah, it is a very big difference. And that's why that's the cutoff for renting a car and stuff and things like that. Or it's like much cheaper. But
Yeah.
it is 7 years then versus 25 to 32 is completely different.
Yeah. I think it's just silly to be like, yes, you 18-year-old who's in their second semester of their senior year in high school, you can absolutely go grab a weapon. And I think so for public schools, because, you don't really have a say in the private schools that are taking your money.
Yeah.
But for public schools, we need to safeguard the schools. I think there's a lot of argument, specifically around like the Moms for Liberty crowd, about metal detectors at doors, how that will make it feel like a prison. You go to Walmart and there are metal detectors at the doors.
Right, because they want to see if you're stealing stuff.
Why can't we have them in school? I think that would be a smart investment.
It's a way to mitigate it. I mean, this is the thing that irks me the most about gun stuff is every other thing that we've ever had in this country that has killed this many people, cars, cancer, like anything else that has killed the number of people that guns have killed, we have tried to mitigate harm. We put seatbelts in cars. We redid the roads. We really did a big push on drinking and driving and things like that, even like cigarettes. But for guns, if we say, hey, an 18-year-old shouldn't have a gun, people lose their shit.
100%. It's just so, I don't know. The betrayal is real. And that's why I have such a problem with the Democratic Party, is because they're like, in some ways they're Republican light, and then in some ways they're just absent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, a lot of Democrats are, well, we can't really hold the NRA accountable. We can't
Why not?
hold this administration accountable.
Why not?
And why?
Yeah.
People are dying, Kim.
Literally, though. What the fuck? What do you mean you can't do that? Isn't that your fucking job? I don't. Right. I have many a problem with the Democratic Party, obviously, the National Party specifically, and it's letting a race like yours go unopposed for 6 years
is gross. It's failed
leadership, and the Democrats they shut the door on themselves a lot, right?
Yeah.
They're like you said, can't do anything about the NRA. I'm like, well, you haven't tried, so you don't know.
What's another thing is that we did have a federal assault weapons ban.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
It worked very well. And then when it came time to, renew that, they were like, actually, let's not. Let's see where this goes. And then hundreds of thousands to hundreds and thousands of kids die.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, now it's too much of a hot button issue to do anything about it. So we're going to make it more of a culture issue.
And guns are part of our culture, and I get that, right? I'm so far left that I'm pro-gun, right? For the right people, and for the fact of the matter is I have my real estate license, and every other year I have to do 22 hours of training to prove that I'm allowed to have my real estate license. And if you have a gun, you need to prove, in the state of Michigan, if you have kids in the house, you have to have a gun safe. Mm-hmm. Great. Things like that. They need to be registered. You need to take a training, and you need to have proper ways to handle it. I don't mind people having guns. I mind teenagers having guns. I mind people being able to drive across states to get guns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I support the Second Amendment. I also recognize the fact that there is a huge responsibility with that.
Yeah.
This is a health epidemic. This isn't, I don't know what else they tell themselves in their head that this problem is, but it's literally a health epidemic. Kids are getting slaughtered in schools.
Yeah.
But let me just close my eyes the other direction. What?
Well, and then this also bleeds into the male loneliness epidemic, right? The number 2 type of gun deaths is suicides, and it's almost exclusively men. And we're not talking about that.
Right.
Why do these people have access to guns when they're clearly in crisis?
Yeah. And with the loneliness epidemic, I think I did a bunch of research to make sure that I wasn't like just having a huge ego, but I was like, everyone is lonely. I need to
Everyone is lonely. Everyone is lonely. You're right.
Everyone is lonely. And it's a policy failure, for one. Like, the fact that no one can afford to live, that's a policy failure. That isolates you. The fact that big dudes push everybody into having single family homes or like a single home outside of a community, that's also a policy failure. And it's very strategic. That's what they want. They want us to be isolated. They want us to spend money. They don't want us to have a community to rely on, because that threatens like our reliance on them. And that's a policy failure. Like, all of these issues can be solved with policy. It's just not talked about. Like,
well, it's not sexy enough, right? The guns,
right.
When we talk about guns, we make a lot of money. We can...
Right, and it's edgy.
Yeah. And abortion, things like women's health, like we can make a lot of money on that. But if we talk about infrastructure, people's eyes glaze over.
Right. Yeah, like when I first decided that I was going to run, because who else is gonna?
I love you. You're like...
I was like, infrastructure. I've made categories on what my goals were, how they would impact one another, and just like my thoughts. And I was like, infrastructure. And now I'm like, ooh, infrastructure.
I love infrastructure.
It's like my favorite thing ever. I'm like, we can build so many cool things that would impact so many communities in such great ways. And it would also solve a lot of the health crisis, like the loneliness epidemic. That does fall under like a health problem.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's
100%.
Issue. And that's another thing. It's like the same people who will talk about how it's not the guns that kill people. It's people who kill people. It's a mental health issue. Okay. But the people who you vote for don't support investing in mental health care. They don't want to make it more accessible. They don't do that. They don't believe in mental health half the time. So what are we doing here? What do you actually believe in? Do you actually care about kids? Do you actually care about why people are shooting one another? Or does it just not impact you? Yet,
because it will. It's coming. It is definitely coming for everyone.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Like Martin Luther King and then Charlie Kirk. It clearly does not discriminate. Politically. What are we?
And people do think they're immune to it. We're having 2 or 3. I mean, we have at least 1 shooting per day. Usually it's 2 in a year. And then we also have police shooting 3 people a day in the United States.
Right. Yeah. It's so gross. So
it's a gentle way to put it.
I know. It's so hard to describe things that are just so disgusting.
Yeah.
And like, there really isn't a word.
Unfathomable.
Yeah.
There you go.
True.
I feel like one of those little calendars with the word of the day on it.
But police brutality is kind of, when I talk to people from other states, it's difficult to explain how police operate in my area, let alone in Iowa, let alone in my area. I get lucky if I see a police officer once within 2 weeks. Like, I see them so rare because I live so rurally, and most everyone in my community does. So are they overfunded?
Yeah.
All the time. Like, consistently, especially like specifically the sheriff's office.
Is yours like a county sheriff?
Oh, yeah.
It's so weird. The structure of these police departments is so odd to me because there's always the sheriff county, and then you have like precincts that don't report to the sheriff. And I'm like, so we're just like adding more to this judicial nightmare, like, or jurisdictional nightmare.
Right.
So we were talking about policing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for the state, because I find it difficult to talk about like things that would help my district and then things that would help the state because they're on different scales. Because my district is so rural, a lot of the issues aren't impacting rural areas as much. Or the people in the rural areas don't feel it as harshly as people in a more diverse town. I think one of the most urban areas of my district is like Iowa Falls that still has less than 10,000 people.
So cute.
So, yeah, I wouldn't exactly describe it as urban, but people who live here do. So, like, they have a city police department.
Right.
A lot of those city funds could be diverted into other programs.
Yeah.
Like emergency mental health resources.
There's so many things that don't need police.
Right. Exactly. Like when I get called for a diabetic that did not give themselves insulin when they should have, 2 police cars do not need to come.
No. In fact, that might stress them out even more in a medical emergency.
And it stresses me out. Just get out of the way.
Right. You're like, move it. Move it or lose it, kids.
They're always in the area, like, large men.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get out of my way. Well, do you need help? No. Get out.
No, I know what I need to do, and I just need to be able to get to this person, and you're blocking the fucking way, and you're slowing me down.
And I'm fast. I'm a mouse. Move. And then they get paid for that time, too.
Yeah.
But it's just so... There are other places that they could be. Like,
sure.
Community.
Yeah.
Like, I was on the highway, and I ran out of gas, and I called my mom to help me. And so she picked me up to go get gas, and then I went back to my car. And she was talking about how, like, police are technically supposed to help you with that. Like, highway patrolmen are supposed to help you with that. But they're too busy just, like, pulling people over.
And, like, harassing them a little bit.
Harassing them.
Yeah.
Arresting people who don't exactly need to be arrested consistently. And then that plays into the war on marijuana in Iowa.
Oh.
In Minnesota, it's legal in Illinois. It's legal in other places. And everybody's going to those other states, giving them, like, legally giving them money.
Right.
Circulating their economies.
Right.
And then they're coming back to Iowa. Legalizing marijuana would help our economy. And so few people want to talk about it, about how well it could help our economy. We could have healthcare for 70% of people who don't have healthcare right now if we were to legalize marijuana.
Well, and the fun thing about legalizing marijuana is people drink alcohol less, which means driving becomes less unsafe. It becomes more safe.
Exactly.
But alcohol lobbyists hate this little trick, legalizing marijuana.
Right. Like, our jails and prisons are overpopulated, so they're putting these people out of state, which is just, it's dehumanizing anyway. I don't like our prison system.
Yeah.
Obviously. I'm sure I'm an easy read, but also, when we do that, we're putting so much money toward that in other areas, and it's so expensive. It's putting all of our money in other states. It's not circulating here, which is hurting everyone in the state.
Yeah.
Why? Like, the brain, it just seems to not be there. These past, 12 years. It's been so bad.
Government information shouldn't require a scavenger hunt. Luckily for us, Civic Politics is a free app that shows you all of your elected officials, city, state, federal, all in one place. Download it now on the App Store or in Google Play Store and have the information you need in the palm of your hand. What was it like before this current governor?
Well, I'm 22 and she's been here for 12 years.
Yeah.
However, we used to be number 1 in public schools. We're not anymore. We're toward the middle to end.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is to blame with the private schools. The private school program.
It's exactly what happened to Oklahoma as well. They dropped 30 states, I think.
And we used to be, we weren't number 1, but we were higher on the scale for healthcare.
Right.
We're not any longer. And those are kind of the big 2 things that I like to dive into, but.
Well, because they're the 2 equalizers, right? If people have healthcare and people have good education, they will figure out a way to make everything else work. Obviously, for me personally, housing is up there. But if we had to pick 2, I would right now probably pick healthcare and education. Yeah, people might not be comfortable in the housing they live in, but if they have healthcare and they have good education, they're going to get enough money that they can buy the house and raise the family they want. But it is. Right. It's a great equalizer.
Yeah. I think And with affordable housing, I have a few initiatives that I'd like to take to make housing more affordable, to have more housing. And that looks a lot different in like rural areas in
Right.
comparison to like cities. One, like, we need to cap rent increases by the rates of inflation. I think that should just always be a thing. If the inflation rate is 11%, why is it okay for my rent to be raised by 35%?
That should be illegal everywhere, and I don't know why it is.
It's illegal everywhere.
Yeah,
but it's
I don't
not
know.
illegal.
It's not where I live either. It's absolutely insane. And then people will come in and are like, what about the landlords? I'm like, what about them? They have a building they can sell. If they need money, sell the building.
Right.
You have equity in it, sell it.
Yeah. What about the rich?
They're so poor.
I'm
Poor
pretty
little
sure
rich
the
people.
landlord who owns 15 homes, not even, they usually own more than that.
Yeah.
This specific landlord that owns every single house in this town, like my old town, same landlord for every single house almost. I'm sure they can find a place to live.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Like, it's not...
Sorry, I was thinking about your district being rural and how you plan to work with all these other districts who might be a mix of rural and not rural. City. Rural and city dwellers. Words.
Yeah. No, I think it's kind of... Well, I have a pretty close relationship with Northeast, to the east of my district. Like Waterloo, Cedar Falls, that kind of area. You probably don't know what I'm talking about.
I know Waterloo and Cedar Falls. I know both of those towns in Iowa. I do.
Hey, so those are just a little bit east. Like I work in Waterloo. Like I live out near Dike area. I work in Waterloo. So like people, I'm not the only one. Like most of us who live in my district are going like a few counties over to go work. Like driving 45 minutes is not out of the ordinary. Though I do think that we should probably incentivize companies to push remote work. I think more places need to offer that. So there's less driving and it's less stress for like the employee, like that person who's working. It's less costly for people who are working. I think that's just such an easy fix. And I think a way that we can go with that is to literally fund internet. It's so cheap to do, and it's really easy.
It's insane to me that we still have places in this country that don't have internet. Like every single candidate I've talked to who has anyone that is rural in their district is like, yeah, people don't have Wi-Fi. And I'm just like, what do you mean?
Well, I think for one, it's kind of, I'm going to describe something else to kind of make the internet problem make more sense maybe, or put it into perspective. But Iowa was really late to restaurants. Iowa got their first restaurants in the later 70s because we relied on our family farms. Like farming to keep yourself sustained was the norm. And then wars happened, people left, and women started working. Women started working their farm, and then they started working other places. And that created kind of this boom of restaurants. And for a while, restaurants were literally just like frozen dinners for moms to take home to feed their families. And then, of course, we never got rid of them. And now it's everything tastes the same, which also, unfortunately, that problem started in Iowa. Like the monopolies started in Iowa. But an interesting thing about Iowa with farming is the farming monopolies. Our old Senator Tom Harkin was one of the first senators to try to ruin that monopoly and prevent monopolies from happening over like specific farm issues like seeds, fertilizers, that sort of thing.
I love anyone who's anti-monopoly. It's like my favorite thing. I approach it a very different way because I've only worked in startups. So for me, monopolies always mean tech, and they are monopolizing our internet highways. They're monopolizing everything that we fucking do, and nobody is standing up to them. And Netflix just bought fucking Warner Brothers and HBO, and I'm like,
they actually go through with that sale?
I think it was announced earlier yesterday, I think. I don't know if it's fully done, but they announced it.
I saw something about it and I was like, they better not.
Literally, I was like, and you kicked me off my parents?
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to. You
On
have,
my phone?
yeah, you have 500, whatever it is, like billions of dollars to buy this, and you needed an extra 15 from me? Interesting.
Right. It's so gross. I hate it so much. But like, also, this is the world I grew up in.
I
And
know.
I'm very new to the political scope. So I know that there are a few things that I don't know a lot about. I'm someone who likes to learn.
That's all that matters.
I think so. And I think it's important to have someone who's not, who just genuinely wants to help their community. When did that
Go away?
No. Yeah. When did that go away?
Somewhere around the 90s, like mid 90s is when. And then, of course, with the Citizens United in 2012, Citizens United supercharged it. And then, of course, last week we get Mike Johnson saying that if we ban stock trading, good candidates won't run for office.
I'm sorry. I think the only good candidates are the ones that are like, let's get rid of stock trading and all.
Oh, yeah. If you have stocks, it's really easy. You put them in a trust. You don't see them for 4, 8, 12, 22 years. If you're Chuck Grassley, you don't see them for 57, 60 years. But not that big of a deal. Sorry. I think it's really important what you highlighted, though. Obviously, you care about your community a lot. I think a lot of the younger people running are more ready to admit, like, this is what I know and this is what I don't know. And if I don't know, I will learn it. If I can't figure it out on my own, I will find resources that are going to help me. Whereas, like, a lot of people older than me, I would say, and people who are in office are like, no, I know everything. I'm like, you can't. It's not possible. I'm like, what do you mean? Everything. No, you can't do that. That's not, nobody can.
And the fact that you say that just makes you weird.
You're icky.
Weird vibe.
You're gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about the way that you would operate with other representatives who don't maybe have as rural of districts.
Yeah, I think I'm more than like happy to collaborate with almost anyone, unless you're like, and I don't care that people are dying. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But I think coming together with like people who do represent like more urban areas, I hate that word, but it's like the most descriptive word. And like people who represent more rural areas and then specifically suburban areas coming together and talking about this is where we should put money for policing. This is where we should put money. This is where we should divert money from policing would probably come from me. And just creating specific initiatives. There is something I really want to do. So we used to have a program, like a farm to school program, where local farmers and their local produce would go to schools and it would feed kids. And
That's so great.
It wasn't from another area. It was like fully nutritious and great. And it was really good for our economy as well. And then Kim Rails was like, you know what? I don't want to feed kids anymore. And she did away with that program. And she refused money from the Biden administration to feed kids over COVID. I don't know what this woman has against feeding kids, but the program no longer exists. And I like the idea of that program, and I think we can make it better. I think, for one, I think we should stop subsidizing crops that only go toward fuel and feeding animals.
Yeah.
And we should flip crops that do feed animals, because corn and soybeans are really bad for the Iowa environment. We have some of the most nutritious soil, but we're constantly planting corn, soybean. And it's the nitrates that we have to use to keep corn growing, because it struggles to grow now, is killing our water quality. So let's maybe divert from the Renewable Fuel Act that sounds like it's good, but it's not. Because in Iowa, ethanol is worse for the environment than gasoline.
Yeah.
It's like that everywhere, but it impacts Iowa more because Iowa and Nebraska.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
It's because of the farming. Like, the farming is not good for the environment, especially if it's like a huge monofarm. And that's our entire state. It's so bad. Like, our water quality and our rising cancer rate is disgusting. And it's not that farmers are to blame. It's legislators who created, like, who locked farmers to farming specifically corn and soybeans consistently.
Right.
But I'd like to stop subsidizing those crops and subsidize other things. Like, I think I talked to an environmentalist who is all about farming. Barley and oats. Like, we have one of the largest oat mills in the country, and we don't even put our own oats into it. So growing our own oats.
I see a theme in Iowa. I'm seeing the theme. I get it.
Yeah.
Your money's going everywhere else. You're not taking care of your people. You're not taking care of your kids, your doctor. What the fuck, Kim? I do like that her name is Kim.
Yeah. People are dying, Kim.
It's a perfect... People are dying. Yeah.
It locks in. But I think subsidizing crops that people actually eat and benefit from, and then switching to like barley and oats that can both feed our animals, that are healthier for them too.
Yeah. But I'm sure they're a little bit more expensive, aren't they?
You'd be surprised.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out why that we wouldn't have done barley and oats to begin with.
And then big oil was like, we profit off of all of that ethanol you make. And it's difficult to refarm from corn. I'm not a farmer, but the way it was put is it's difficult to go from corn to barley to oat, or those crops don't really.
They're not meshing.
They don't mesh well.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Of course, it's big oil. It's always big oil.
It always comes back to big oil. I fear.
Big oil, big pharma, big corn. You know.
And then they make money off of each other. It's gross.
There's a lot of that happening right now. Like, all these big companies are kind of just like shoving money back and forth. And I'm like, so you're telling me if I give somebody like, you know, I think it's $18,000, I'm going to get shit wrecked on taxes because it's over the gift limit. But these companies can just kind of play around and send a couple billion back and forth to each other.
Right.
I know.
And not pay anything in taxes.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
I think we have one billionaire in Iowa, and he loves Elizabeth Warren.
Let's elevate him. Let's get him and Mark Cuban on some of this stuff. We need some benevolent billionaires on our side of the team.
Yeah. I'm also just filthily tax them so they're not billionaires anymore. Because they shouldn't exist.
They shouldn't exist. And now we're like entering into a world where we might have a trillionaire. That is... And I talk a lot about history, and people are always like, oh, well, like, the Rockefellers did so many good things. I was like, you want to know why they did good things? Because people were going to kill them. Literally, they were afraid for their lives. They made the library because their workers were bringing guns to work. Because so many of their friends died building these railroads and working in Standard Oil that they were like, oh, if we don't give back to the community right now, we're going to die.
Yep.
And I also think that's why, what's his name from Microsoft is giving money away right now.
Right. Probably. And when conversation kind of rises around like taxing the rich, like taxing the uber wealthy, we've done it before. And
we got the highways.
Yeah. It's how we like solved our country like dissipating.
Yeah.
For a while. So why is it so crazy now? Now that you're alive, I don't know.
I think it's like the propaganda and media marketing. I think they really leaned into this idea that like everyone does everything by themselves. And I'm like, Elon Musk did not pull himself up from his bootstraps.
No.
Please.
He hasn't created anything. He just buys.
And destroys.
Yeah.
He's like a fucking, I don't know what the bad transformer is, but that's what he is in my mind.
What is his name?
Megabot? No. Megatron? No, he's good. Megatron's good. I don't know. Okay, so we are about to hit the 1 hour mark. Could you tell everyone where they can follow you one more time, and then we'll move into our little like last segment?
Yeah, you can follow me on Leila for Iowa, Leila for Iowa, on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Those are the only social medias I have.
And then your website?
And then my website is Leila for Iowa, spelled the same way, .com. And then you can, if you're in Iowa and you want to volunteer, or you live elsewhere and you want a phone bank for me, you can volunteer. And then if you want to donate, you can donate as well.
Give her some money. Invest in the future. She is the future of our country. That is what you're doing when you're giving politicians money. You are making an agreement with them that you agree in their vision of the future.
True.
I've decided to change the way we talk about money. Okay, so our last little roundabout here is just a couple of like quick yes or no questions, kind of rapid fire. So this one's going to be random, but I just thought of it. Are you more of a corn gal or a soybean gal?
I think I'm a neither gal.
Neither. Okay, what if you had to eat one food every day for a year, what would it be?
One food every day for a year?
Not the only food you're eating, but you have to eat it every single day.
Every single day. Okay, I think I would probably eat Nutella every day. I really like Nutella.
That's the best answer we've gotten so far. So many people keep trying to like cheat the system and they're like pizza, and I'm like, what type? I'm like, one. You don't get to choose. I want one. No, that's a great answer. I love Nutella. Are you more of a cat or a dog person?
I'm more of a cat person, but I have a dog.
That is interesting.
It's a toxic relationship. Just kidding.
If you had one thing to say to people who say people in their early 20s are too young to run for office, what would you say? This doesn't have to be one word. This can be like a sentence or two.
Okay, we pay taxes, and it's often phrased that, well, Gen Z is going to save the world, let them. If you want to rely on Gen Z to fix it, give them the authority to fix it and stop being a bully and trying to be the main character, because you're not. Next.
Very side character energy or like villain, clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. What is your favorite thing about Iowa's House District 54?
I think my favorite thing is how great our roads are. And I know that sounds so like infrastructure, but I really like how smooth the pavement is and that it's not super bumpy. And then when I get into Cedar Falls, and I'm like, yeah, back home's got it.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much. Thank you for following The Foolish Optimist. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, pretty much. We're going to be dropping new episodes every Wednesday, and you can watch the video episodes on YouTube. If you would like to, please give us a review, leave comments. You can also email us at thefoolishoptimistpodcast@gmail.com. If you see any really great candidates that I should be talking to, send them my way. Thank you.